Indu's International Kitchen. Today I have a very special recipe for you, and that is of chicken tikka masala. Chicken tikka masala is really such a dish that everyone really loves it. And I think it's really more popular in America and outside of India than it is in India itself. And I think one of the reasons for that is that it's really only mildly spicy. It's not very hot. It's really only mildly spicy. It has this wonderful flavors from the different spices, and the texture, it's so rich and creamy. That's what everybody loves, and it's absolutely delicious to eat with some kind of bread, naan especially, or rotis. So today though, what I have for you is a paleo version, which means it's dairy free completely, and it's also tomato free. And since I am completely paleo, I like to eat this curry with some cassava parathas or cassava rotis, the video for which is separately available, so you can watch that. So without further ado, let's just get started. So we'll first start by making a paste of ginger garlic, because that's something that we'll use or we'll need for the marination. And ginger garlic paste is something that I make by using equal quantities of ginger and garlic. This is fresh ginger there, just peel it and chop it into big chunks with an equal amount of garlic cloves, and then I use some extra virgin olive oil and and blend this in a food processor to form like a thick paste. And here, as you can see, I'm doing like a large amount, and then I'm going to reserve this for future use. I generally make it about once a week, and it stores well in the refrigerator. So here I have my chicken thigh pieces, and to that I'm going to add all the marinade ingredients. So that's about a teaspoon of salt. Then I'm adding some turmeric powder, and then I'm going to add some garam masala there. Yeah, next I'm going to add cumin powder, and cumin is really, I think, a very important spice in this marinade, and gives like a very distinctive taste and flavor to the chicken pieces. So I wouldn't skip that spice if I were you. And next we have cayenne pepper, or Kashmiri chili pepper. Chili powder is what I like to use because it's mild. And then also some coriander powder. Next we add some freshly squeezed lemon juice, and then we also need some more ginger garlic paste. I'm sorry, some of the ginger garlic paste from what we made earlier. So we are going to add that to the marinade. And next thing we'll need is the yogurt. Now, as I told you before, I'm using coconut yogurt that I made at home. I make it by using coconut milk and probiotic culture. But if you do not have this coconut yogurt available, you could just skip it completely, and just add a little more lime or lemon juice, because acidity is important to make the chicken pieces nice and tender. So after you add all the marinade ingredients, use your hands to mix everything well together so that the chicken pieces are well coated with all the spices and the lemon juice and the coconut yogurt. And then what I do is also add a little bit of oil to this marinade, and that helps to coat the chicken pieces well. So I'm just trying to make sure that all the spices are nicely all mixed together. You should keep the chicken for marination for anywhere between 1 to 8 hours. The longer the better. While the chicken is marinating, we can get started with our preparations for the curry. So I have here about 15 cashew nuts soaked in hot water for about an hour. And then here I'm using cranberries, and this is my substitute for tomatoes. But if you do not have any problem with tomatoes, you can obviously go ahead and use that. And then the spices that I'll be using for the curry is we have some dried fenugreek leaves called as kasuri methi and cumin seeds. And then we'll also need some more of the ginger garlic paste as well as onions. So now the chicken is ready to be grilled, so I am going to put them on skewers and grill them in the oven. I have placed the oven in broil setting, and so I will put these on a skewer and grill them. You could also alternatively just pan fry quickly, in a frying pan, the chicken pieces. But I like to grill them just so that you can get a more of a smoky flavor once you do that. And now these are ready to be placed in the oven. So these I've kept them under the broiler now. I grill them for a total of about 10 to 12 minutes, but halfway through you can turn them just to make sure that they are evenly cooked. And now I am ready to get these guys out of the oven. Looks like they are all cooked, and you can see those smoky, like charred points, and that's what gives them the really nice flavor. It smells really, really delicious, and and these taste absolutely delicious. Actually, my kids love to just have these as is. And so what I do is I actually keep some extra pieces so that I can just keep them on the side and not put them in the gravy. So you can do that too. So here for our curry now, I've heated up some oil and added the kasuri methi and the cumin seeds. Just give a quick stir fry for about 30 seconds or so until the flavors start coming out, and then you add the onions. I had about 2 medium onions here, and I've roughly chopped them because it doesn't really matter, because once they get cooked I'm going to blend them in the food processor. And so right now I'm just kind of cooking them. Make sure that you continue to saute them, continue to stir them so that they don't get burnt. So I've been stirring the onions for about 3 to 4 minutes now. Next, it's time to add some more of the ginger garlic paste that we used earlier. So now we need to add some in the curry base too. So stir fry for about 30 seconds or so until the raw smell of the ginger and the garlic goes away, and you get start getting the nice aroma. And now you can add the spices. So we will add a little bit of all the spices that we used earlier in the marinade, a little bit of salt, about a quarter teaspoon of all the other spices. That's the Kashmiri chilli powder, the turmeric, the garam masala, and the coriander powder, and the cumin powder. We are using only a little bit now because since we already used a lot of these spices in the marinade for the chicken, so the chicken pieces have those spices. And now for the gravy base, we want to keep it mild. Next, I'm going to add these cranberries that I had soaked in water. And as I said before, if you have no problem with tomatoes, you can add tomatoes here. But since I am nightshade free, I use cranberries, and they are a good substitute for tomatoes because they provide the tartness and the same kind of texture to the gravy as tomatoes do. So keep stirring continuously here, because once you add the spices, they will get burnt unless you stir frequently. And then I just cooked it for about a minute, by covering it and cooking it for a minute. And now you can see everything is like all nice and mushy, like the cranberries are really soft. So now I'm going to turn the heat off and add this mixture into this food processor. And along with the cashew nuts that I had soaked earlier, I'm going to blend all these up into a fine, really fine paste. So at this point, you shouldn't be adding much water. You can add a little bit to facilitate the grinding, but see the texture of the paste is really fine, and the cashew nuts need to completely be ground into a fine paste. And now you can add more water as you desire, based upon the consistency of the gravy that you would like to have. You can add more water at this point. I think I may have ended up adding about a cup of water in total. So now you started the heat again, and into the same pan I'm adding the grilled chicken pieces. I have saved some pieces, as I told you before. I just leave them like that so that I can serve the tikkas alongside the tikka masala. So now it's almost done. You just cook it for about 3 to 4 more minutes or so. You can cover the pan with the lid and just cook them for 3 to 4 minutes until the chicken pieces become really nice and tender. And make sure that at this point the heat is on, between low to medium, because otherwise there might be the tendency for the curry to stick to the pan. So simmer it on very low flame. And see, as you can see, the curry is all ready. See, it's the perfect consistency. At least I like that consistency, thick. But if you like more water, you can add that. And now just finish it off with a garnish of cilantro. Hope you like this curry. Do try it and let me know how you like it. Thank you for watching.